Hi, I'm Sharmin Akhtar, a graduate student of Physics Department. The topic of my today's presentation is Search for Unsaturated Alkoxy Radicals using Laser-Induced Fluorescence Spectroscopy under jet-cooled conditions. Here is the outline of my presentations. At first, I will give you some idea of free radicals and how we produce allyl alkoxy radicals in our experiment. Then I will move forward to the principle of laser-induced fluorescence and dispersed fluorescence spectroscopy technique. After that, I will explain the supersonic jet expansion to achieve lower temperature for our experiment. Afterwards, I will explain the experimental setup. Finally, we'll show you the result that I have got so far and the plan for future. So now the primary question is, what are free radicals? Free radicals are uncharged molecule having unpaired valence electron and they are highly reactive and short-lived. The next question is, how do we produce free radicals in a laser spectroscopy lab? We can produce free radicals in our lab under jet-cooled condition by using laser photolysis, discharge, pyrolysis, or laser ablation followed by free radical reactions. The most vital question is, why are we interested in the allyl alkoxy radical? Because they are critical reaction intermediates in combustion and atmospheric chemistry. Also, a prototypical unsaturated free radical with a double bond. Here you can see in the first figure the structure of allyl ether, and the second one is for allyl alkoxy free radicals, which is produced from this allyl ether. Let's talk about the principle of laser-induced fluorescence and dispersed fluorescence spectroscopy. In our lab, LIF or DF spectroscopy method has been implemented to determine and understand the structure, dynamics, and bonding of free radicals. In general, fluorescence spectroscopy is used to study the electronic and vibrational states. Here in this figure you can see X and A, their electronic states, and the vibrational levels are here denoted by V1, V2, V3, etc. In LIF experiment, the ground state population is excited to a high energy level by the absorption of laser light followed by spontaneous emission. By scanning the wavelength of the laser, we can observe the energy level structure of high energy level. On the other hand, in dispersed fluorescence method, the frequency of the excitation laser is parked on a LIF transitions, which are indicated by blue lines here. While the fluorescence is dispersed and detected, we can observe the energy level of the lower energy state in this method. In this slide, I will show and explain the experimental setup. We have studied the production of unsaturated alkoxy radicals using 193 nanometer photolysis laser of unsaturated ethers under the supersonic jet expansion conditions. So what is jet expansion? Jet expansion is usually used to cool down the molecules. It is very important for our experiment because with the lower temperature we will be able to resolve the energy state. In this process, here you can see in this figure, The precursor molecules flow through the pinhole valve into the vacuum chamber. Since the pinhole is very small, the molecules start to collide with each other and will achieve low temperature, which is approximately 1 Kelvin. The whole process is happening here by adiabatic process. Here, excimer laser or photolysis laser is used to produce the alkoxy radicals. And also a pulse dye laser pumped by a second harmonic of a ND-YAG laser is used to excite the LIF transitions. The whole system is happening inside this vacuum chamber. When the excitation laser interact with the alkoxy radicals, it goes to excited state from the ground state and then relaxed. Upon this relaxation, there will be fluorescence. In LIF method, we collect these fluorescence and send them to the photomultiplier tube and then to boxcar, and finally it will goes to the computer. This is how we collect the signal in LIF method. On the other hand, while we are doing TF experiment, we just flip down that mirror and then collect the fluorescence and send them to the spectrograph instead of the photomultiplier tube, and then it will goes to the CCD camera and here it will detect and finally it will reach to the computer and we can detect our signal. Now I will explain you the experimental results what I got so far. Here the graph is showing the LIF spectra of photolysis of allyl ether under jet expansion conditions. Here the bottom axis is in wavelength and the top axis is in wave number. Also, the y-axis is denoted by normalized intensity. Surprisingly, a large number of transitions of C3 molecules have been identified in simulating their rotational structure. These are unexpected because we are not focused on these molecules. We want to produce the allyl alkoxy radicals. Here both figures are showing the structure of the pi to sigma vibronic band of C3 molecules under jet-cooled conditions, which is perpendicular. The present work is the first step towards a systematic spectroscopy investigation of unsaturated radicals. Spectroscopic analysis and the search for the target allylic alkoxy radical is in process. In future, we can simulate the C3 vibronic bands and identify the allyl alkoxy bands. Then we will do high resolution LIF spectra of allyl alkoxys using the dye amplifier in our lab. Also, we will simulate the rotational structure in the high resolution spectra. To resolve of getting the unexpected C3 molecules, we will switch to 248 nanometer wavelength of photolysis laser instead of using 193 nanometer. By doing this, less energy will be achieved and it will not break all kind of bonds, and as a result we will be able to get our desired molecules, which is allyl alkoxy radicals. Thank you all for your patience.